Let's bring it back to Australia now and catch up with Bridget McKenzie, who's the Nationals Senate Leader. She joins us live from Melbourne. Good to talk to you, Bridget. First of all, your thoughts on this looming peace deal and look, what I characterise as pathetic attempts of Albanese to sort of associate himself with it. I mean, he's just been calling for Israel to lay off its enemies since October 2023. Yeah.
Absolutely, Chris. I thought you laid out beautifully in your opening segment what has got us and our country to this place we see ourselves, where Albo's own, anti-Semitism envoy that you're going to be speaking to later in your show is saying he's not even listening to her in terms of the spillover impact of the issues in Gaza into our own community here domestically. Obviously, we as the coalition have been saying, along with Israel, along with America, no ceasefire until all hostages are returned. We need to see Hamas surrender or destroyed if we're going to see peace in that region. And so let's see what the outcome of these discussions will be over coming days. But obviously we do want to see peace, but not peace at any price. And I think the Prime Minister and Penny Wong have shown their absolute disregard for our ally Israel and the United States on the floor of the UN time and time again last year. And what have we seen here at home? We've seen synagogues firebombed, we've seen Jewish students attacked and harassed, businesses boycotted, anti-Semitic graffiti in our suburbs and our communities. These are not isolated incidents. It's now systemic, it's organised, it's culturally targeted. And that is exactly why our own anti-Semitic envoy has actually called for there to be a national cabinet on this issue so that state governments who have police forces can actually get on with prosecuting and bringing these people to justice instead of all this talk. Everyone's sick of it.
Let's follow up on this because, as you say, I'll be speaking to the anti-Semitism envoy, Gillian Siegel, later in the program. But the point here is, again, Anthony Albanese's weakness and reluctance to do anything. Now, when Julian Leeser said there should be mandatory sentences for attacks on synagogues and a national cabinet to discuss anti-Semitism, Albanese rejects it. Then he's gone to some half-hearted attempt where he's got an acting premier or two on the line. Now his own envoy is saying, actually, there should be mandatory sentences and there should be a national cabinet. How can he ignore her?
Absolutely. You're dead right, Chris. I mean, we call a national cabinet emergency over social media. We can call a national cabinet over the absolute emergency, literal emergency we're seeing. Terrorist attacks in our capital cities, here at home, domestically, and we need to do something about it. We've been saying since October the 7th, this tacit approval by the behaviour of the Anthony Albanese government has given to these homegrown actions for domestic political purposes in Western Sydney, for their own internal issues as a Labor Party, and now you've got the PM saying things we never have heard he or his foreign minister utter, and people are not going to buy it. This guy is weak and he's only trying to use words to look like he's been on this journey for a whole time, because if he had have been about strong action against anti-Semitism, there would be people in jails across our country for the behaviour that's been undertaken in our suburbs for the last, 18 months.
Just very briefly, I'm not going to apologise for my focus on these issues. They are important globally and so important for our own social cohesion here. Crucial issues. But I'm conscious of the fact that we're in an election year, and the number one concern of our viewers and voters in this country, of course, is cost of living. What are you doing as a coalition to get the focus on that? Because you don't really want to be talking about these other issues all the time. Surely you want to be talking about how you can reduce the cost of living.
Absolutely, Chris. I mean, as your viewers right now are dealing with their credit card bills post-Christmas and trying to get kids back to school while still paying those record interest rate rises on their mortgages each and every month. That's what's happening out in our suburbs and our regional capitals right now. So we have unequivocal on addressing cost of living crisis, of actually making sure we deliver reliable and affordable energy to power our future, not just to 2050, but into next century. And
well, that's where we're going next.
There is a whole suite of plans.
Yeah. We'll keep in touch.
Well, that's a whole suite of plans we've had. Yeah, absolutely, Chris.
Understood.
Thank you.
Understood, Bridget. I appreciate it. Sorry to cut you off there. Senator Bridget McKenzie, I was just saying she was talking about the Coalition's plans for cheaper and reliable energy. That's the topic we'll be talking about next.